Hello, all my fellow crafters and card makers. My name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Keensburg, Colorado. We're a small town about 45 minutes northeast of Denver, and I love all things about Stampin' Up! So today I'm back with a Terrific Tuesday video, and it would be Tuesday the 16th of June actually, so that means June is half gone already and I don't know where it's going. But here's the card that we're making today. I'm needing some thank you cards. I've also made this exact layout into several beautiful sympathy cards. So what I chose to do was to make a card in almost all of our new in colors for this year. This one is Golden Glow. This one is Barely Blush, and this one is Hydrangea Hue. We're going to be making a crisp cantaloupe one on the video today, and the only one I did not use is a beautiful green called Peaceful Green, but I didn't really think green butterflies were too great of a thing, so I'll use that on something else. So it's just a simple thank you card, says special thanks on the front, and you make the world a nicer place on the inside. So the products that we are using today are a few bundles. The first one with the butterflies is actually called Aflutter, and it has all these different butterflies, some nice sayings, another strip of butterflies, the little trail for the butterfly, and it comes with a punch, which I love punches. They're quick and fast, and I like this one very much. So that's what we're using for that. We're also using for the special thanks another bundle. This is called, we're using just the special thanks greeting. It's called Opulent Oasis. I haven't used this one yet, except for this greeting. And then it comes with some really nice dies, and we'll be doing something with this at some point in time. And then for the You Make the World a Nicer Place, this is just a single stamp set. It's called Natural Artistry. It's shaded. When you stamp it, it's just gorgeous. And again, I hope to make some cards with this. For the ink, we're going to be using Versamark because our butterflies are going to be embossed in black embossing powder. We're going to be using Crumb Cake for the everything else basically. And then here's the Golden Glow. This is the new magnetic pads, and to be honest with you, I don't even know that I'm using this, but this is the color that we're gonna, or no, this is not the color we're making. We're making Crisp Cantaloupe today. So basically 2 stamp pads, Versamark and Crumb Cake. So what I think we'll do, first of all, I'll show you everything that we have in the packet. The envelope, as always, we have a thick basic white card base. It is our normal 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and this one we use all the time. We'll have an inside or a piece that we're going to actually for the front of our layers, and this one is 3 3/4 by 5. We'll have a piece of Crisp Cantaloupe. This is a very pretty kind of peachy color. This one measures 4 by 5 1/4, and you'll have a piece of scrap paper that we're going to actually scrap cardstock in the Crisp Cantaloupe, and this is what we're going to stamp our butterflies on, which I think we will do first to get that done. I will not be able to complete the whole process because we do have to have the heat tool, and I, to be honest, don't have another plug-in that I can plug into. So plus it's quite noisy, and it's pretty simple to do, and we've all done it. So we will take our butterfly stamp, but first of all, I have my Embossing Essentials kit here with the Wow Black, but we need our little static pad. This kind of helps hold down, keep the embossing powder from going where you don't want it, and so all I do is I just take it and rub it all over. Make sure I have it everywhere that I need. The kit comes with this nice little brush, so if you need to get rid of some powder that gets somewhere where you don't want it to be, then you can do that. And looks like I don't have my little spongy pad with me, so hopefully this will all stamp okay without having the pad underneath. It's a problem. I take some things over to the studio and then I don't get them back here to where I do my filming. And we're actually going to stamp 2 because you do need 2, and I kind of stamp it the way my punch is laid out, and this is the way it's going to be laid out. And so we're just going to put this down, give it a moment to soak in. You may be able to see the image. As you all know, Versamark is very kind of clear and sticky, but you can see that. It does stay wet for a while, so it gives you a little bit of time to get your powder on. And then once you get your powder on, you can wait a bit to get the actual heating process done. So that takes care of that one, and we will get this over here stamped. And so there is our butterflies all stamped. Now the next step in the process is you take your embossing powder, and I just store mine in these little containers. Kind of keeps it together. Embossing powder lasts a long time, but I will tell you that it will eventually go bad. So if you start having issues with it turning and heating and turning shiny like it's supposed to, you might want to check your powder to make sure that it's not old. And so we're going to actually do 2 of them, and I always look at them carefully to make sure that I have gotten everything covered. And then we'll do the other side. Sometimes I just do it twice just to make sure that I have all my little things covered. And I've kind of made a mess, which I always do, seems like. I don't know why. All right, now you can see I have some little globbies here, so they really wouldn't show. So what's going to happen is we're going to take this and we're going to run it through. We're going to take our heat tool and we're going to heat this up, and we're going to keep doing it until it turns shiny, and you'll end up with something that looks like this, and you can see how shiny that is, and that's what you're after. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I will be warming that up a little bit later. And I have made a mess as usual, so I'll try to not make too much more of a mess. I do have a hard time with embossing powder. It always gets everywhere that I don't want it to get. And I missed my tray with this. So I'm just going to push this off into my hand and put it in my trash. Okay, there we go. So as I said, we will take our punch. We will take our butterflies. And all you do is you just line this up, and what I do is what I like to do, and sometimes if you have a corner that's kind of keeping you from getting where you want your punch, where you want it to be, I just trim it off, and then that way it gives me better access to my, and then you just take your punch and you line it up, and I kind of push it down a little bit, and then I really look at it. I don't push it all the way through, just enough to kind of hold it. And then I look at everything and see if that's where I want it to be. And that looks pretty good. And then I just turn it over so they don't go flying everywhere. And there's the 3. Now I'll punch these other ones out because guess what? As usual, I have already done all the punching, and that's already been done. So the next thing we'll do is we'll close up our punch and put it away, and we are going to work on our stamping. I do stamp off on this card, so I have I'll get a little piece of scratch paper here that we can stamp off on. And the first thing we're doing is we're using these two kind of, leafy little flowers. They have little teeny flowers on them. And that's what we're going to do first. And we're going to do that on our 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of basic white. And we are using the crumb cake ink. And so what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to kind of lay this on because I kind of come off and I don't want to get my grid sheet any dirtier than I have to. So we will take this and we will stamp this at the bottom. And I just kind of twist it so it's a little bit straighter, because this stamp is curved, and it doesn't really matter, just however it looks good to your eye. Oh, guess what? Here it is, full strength. I don't want it that dark. So guess what? Thankfully, we have two sides to our paper because I forgot to stamp off. So now we're going to stamp off, and now we're going to stamp. And since there's not a lot of ink on there, I kind of give it a little extra pressure. Yeah, I didn't do a very good job in that at all, did I? I'm going to pause the video just a minute, go over and get another sheet of paper. Okay, so what I do, I always cut up a bunch of the sizes of basic white that I use all the time, and so I have a whole packet of 5 by 3 3/4, and I just put them in a Ziploc bag and keep them. And while I was over there in the studio, I picked up the foam pad, the Stampin' Pierce mat that I use, and that's one of the reasons I did not get a good image on the first one, because I didn't have any cushion underneath it. So here we go again. We'll push this over to the side. We'll stamp off. And now we'll try to get it on our cardstock one more time. There, that's much better. I just want a light image. Now we're gonna ink up the smaller of the sprays here. Again, we'll stamp off. Now it kind of overlaps in the middle, but that's okay, because that's where I'm going to put one of my butterflies, and it covers it up. And there's our second light image. While we have these stamps out, we're going to take our card base, and once again we're going to use the shorter spray of flowers and leaves. We're going to ink it up. We're going to stamp it off. And I'm going to stamp this up in the corners, on both corners of the inside of our card base. Like so. There, I just stuck my finger in the ink pad, not what I wanted to do. We'll ink it up again. I will stamp it off again. I'm going to turn my stamp around, and we're going to do this spray down on the other corner of the card base. Okay. Now we'll put our greeting on the inside while we're right here, and this says, if I can make it, you make the world a better place. And hopefully we'll get it stamped fairly straight. And I did that in the dark. Okay, so then we'll put our card base off to the side. Now while I still have my ink out, I'm going to take and ink up my special thanks for the front. And I just kind of put this down towards the bottom. Just like so. And I do believe, I know why I had that Golden Glow ink out, although it's the wrong color. I'll have to go get the right color. We're going to use that to stamp some stuff, our envelope. So let me run over and get the right color, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with the right color ink pad, and we'll just get all our stamping finished. I'm going to take our envelope. I'm going to open up these wonderfully easy to open pads. I'm going to take our butterflies, and it does still have the Versamark on it, but it doesn't really bother, Versamark doesn't bother the ink pads. And I'm still working on getting comfortable with the new foam pads. I'm getting a little bit better, but they suggest that you like rub it in a circle and then you tap over, and you use a little more pressure than what I'm used to on the foam pads, and I think maybe that's one of the issues I'm having, but I will get it eventually. And then I'm just going to hold this down for a couple of seconds. And there we go. So those of you that struggle with opening our old pads, you're going to love these, because it's just a matter of pulling them apart, shut them, and they go right back. All right, now we are done with our stamping. So we'll get to putting it together. It's turning out to be a little bit longer, the video, than I thought it was going to be, but we're getting down to the finishing part here. So we'll take our I'm going to put this on our cursed cantaloupe piece. This is going to go on the front, and I'm just using my Stamp and Seal. And this is going to go on the front. And hopefully you've got a pretty skinny border on here. So I try to take my time, get it all lined up. And then we'll put this on the back, some more adhesive on the back, and this is going to go on our front of our card base. And we're going to go like so. This one you have more of a border. Okay, and then here we have our butterflies. The reason that you stamped 2 of them is because I put a couple on the inside too. So you have basically three sizes. You have a large, medium, and small, and on the inside I'm just going to put a large and a medium, I guess, is what I brought over here. So we will, I think for this I'm going to use, oh, maybe not. I'm going to use my liquid glue just so it gets held down really well. So I put this one up at the top, and the large one I put at the bottom. Just to kind of dress up the inside. Okay, now on the front, what I did, I took my bone folder. I wanted to give the butterflies a little bit of shape, and so I just took my bone folder and kind of curved the edges of the wings on all 3 of them. just to give them a little bit of shape and movement. And to keep them from getting smashed when they go to the post office, I'm actually going to put some, let me see if I have some dimensionals. I do. I'm going to put dimensionals on each one of them. There's plenty of room on the big and the medium. The little one, you have to be a little bit careful when you're placing your dimensional. And I seem to be awfully kind of off camera, and I apologize. I must have to readjust my camera tripod. And then this one, you just have to make sure that you don't have any of your dimensionals showing, okay? So there we go with that. And now we will take our backings off. Somehow I don't have my pokey tool over here again. I need to restock this filming room, I guess. Although your fingers work just as well. Oh, I turned them upside down. Oh well, they didn't stick, thankfully. So what I did is I put one down here towards the bottom by the greeting. I put this one, I didn't angle it, I just put it right where the two sprays met so that I could cover up the little bit of a mess that's there. And then the little butterfly I put up here on the top, like so. And there we go. We have our card for today. And here's our envelope. And so we have all of our colors. We have Golden Glow. We have Barely Blush. We have Hydrangea Hue. We do not have the Pine one. And then here's the one we just made. So thank you everyone for taking a moment to watch this video, whether you do it in the daytime, the evening, whenever you do. I appreciate each and every view, and may God bless each and every one of you. And I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.